The Red Cap is one of the most sinister figures in British folklore, primarily known in the Scottish borders and northern England. This malevolent, goblin-like creature is infamous for its association with violence and bloodshed, said to haunt ancient castles and ruins. The Red Cap's terrifying reputation stems from its gruesome habit of dyeing its cap with the blood of its victims, giving it its name. Over the centuries, numerous stories and sightings have circulated, contributing to its place as one of Britain's most notorious mythical beings. The origins of the Red Cap are deeply rooted in the turbulent history of the Scottish-English border region, a land fraught with centuries of conflict, especially during the medieval period. The area was often plagued by bloody skirmishes, invasions, and feuds, which may have given rise to the idea of malevolent spirits inhabiting the land. According to legend, the Red Cap typically haunts old castles, especially those that were the sites of violent deaths and murder, as well as ruins and watchtowers near the border. These locations serve as fitting homes for such a bloodthirsty creature. The first known references to the Red Cap can be traced to the medieval period, particularly in the 14th and 15th centuries. The most famous Red Cap was said to inhabit Hermitage Castle, located in the Scottish borders. Hermitage Castle was a site of great historical violence, used as a military stronghold and place of imprisonment. Legends say that a red cap, sometimes referred to as Robin Redcap, haunted the castle, deriving his strength from the blood spilled on its grounds. The gory history of such castles likely fueled the belief in a creature like the Red Cap that thrived on bloodshed. Throughout history, there have been various accounts of sightings and encounters with red caps. The most common descriptions depict them as short, stocky creatures with glaring red eyes, sharp teeth, and talon-like claws. They are always seen wearing a blood-soaked red cap, which must be kept wet with human blood, or else they will perish. Their shoes are described as iron boots, which clatter as they run through stone castles or chase their victims. One of the most famous sightings of a red cap comes from the 17th century. According to historical accounts, several travelers passing by Hermitage Castle claimed to see a small, goblin-like figure near the ruins. Some even reported hearing his iron boots stomping through the halls, while others witnessed a figure moving with inhuman speed across the ruins. The figure, drenched in shadow, appeared briefly before vanishing into thin air. These reports fueled the belief in the Red Cap's existence, turning him into a malevolent entity feared by both locals and travelers alike. Although the belief in mythical creatures like the Red Cap has waned in modern times, there are still occasional reports of strange sightings, particularly in areas rich with history and folklore. Some individuals claim to have encountered eerie figures in ruins, castles, or isolated areas in the Scottish borders. One of the more recent sightings occurred in 1992, when a group of paranormal investigators visited Hermitage Castle. Several members of the team reported hearing strange clattering sounds coming from the stone walls, which they couldn't explain. A few even mentioned seeing fleeting glimpses of a small figure moving through the castle's shadows. These reports, though lacking concrete evidence, rekindled interest in the legend of the Red Cap, prompting local stories to re-emerge. In 2008, another report came from a local hiker near the ruins of Elibank Castle, an old Scottish stronghold. The hiker claimed to have seen a short, hunched figure darting between the stones, wearing what appeared to be a red hat. The sighting, though brief, was enough to leave the individual shaken. They described the figure as having gleaming red eyes and a terrifyingly fast gait, moving in a way that no human could replicate. Such reports are rare, but often strikingly similar in description, suggesting a consistent folklore image passed down over generations. The most famous sighting of the red cap took place in the early 1600s at Hermitage Castle. According to the legend, a group of Scottish soldiers who had taken shelter in the castle for the night encountered the goblin-like creature. They reportedly saw the red cap moving quickly through the shadows, his iron boots clanging on the stone floor. The soldiers were too terrified to pursue him, but one claimed to have thrown a spear at the creature only to have it pass through the red cap as if he were a ghost. After this encounter, the legend of the red cap grew, and Hermitage Castle became synonymous with tales of paranormal activity. This sighting was widely reported in local folklore, and accounts were passed down for generations. Even today, visitors to Hermitage Castle often report feeling an eerie presence, as though something or someone is still watching them from the shadows. Over the centuries, various folklorists and historians have investigated the red cap legend, attempting to uncover the truth behind the myth. One of the most notable figures to research the red cap was Walter Scott, the famous Scottish writer and historian. Scott was fascinated by the rich folklore of the Scottish borders and included references to the red cap in his writings. He believed that the legend of the red cap might have originated from the violent history of the region, where death and bloodshed were a regular part of life. According to Scott, the red cap could be a personification of the brutality and horror that often took place in ancient castles and fortresses. More recently, paranormal researchers have also investigated sites like Hermitage Castle, using modern technology to try to capture evidence of the red cap's existence. While no definitive proof has been found, the continued interest in the red cap has kept the legend alive in popular culture. As with many folklore creatures, there are several rational and scientific explanations for the red cap legend. One common theory is that the red cap may have been inspired by real historical figures, particularly those involved in acts of violence and murder. The castles and ruins associated with the red cap were often places of conflict, where many people met violent deaths. It's possible that the red cap is a symbolic representation of the bloodshed that occurred in these locations. Some skeptics argue that sightings of the red cap may be the result of psychological factors, such as the power of suggestion or the influence of local legends. When people visit places known for paranormal activity, they may be more likely to interpret normal, everyday occurrences, such as the sound of wind or the movement of shadows, as evidence of something supernatural. In this way, the red cap legend could be seen as a form of mass hysteria or collective belief. There are also environmental explanations for the eerie sounds and sightings reported at places like Hermitage Castle. Old stone buildings often emit strange noises as they settle or are affected by temperature changes. Additionally, the ruins of ancient castles are frequently dark and isolated, which can cause people to feel uneasy or frightened, especially if they are already aware of the red cap legend. The red cap remains one of the most enduring figures in British folklore, particularly in the Scottish borders. With his blood-soaked cap, red eyes, and iron boots, the red cap is a terrifying reminder of the region's violent past. While modern investigations have yet to uncover definitive evidence of his existence, the legend continues to capture the imagination of those who hear it. Whether viewed as a supernatural creature or a symbol of historical brutality, the red cap serves as a powerful example of how folklore can shape our understanding of the past and present. The stories of this fearsome goblin will likely continue to haunt the ruins of ancient castles for generations to come. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Share with your family and friends, and please leave a comment down below. You can also suggest ideas for future videos of creatures or myths you would like me to cover. Until we meet again, goodbye.